A rainy start to the new work week across Trinidad and Tobago, particularly around Port of Spain. We saw some urban flooding, some street flooding coming through most areas around Ryson Road, etc. Meanwhile, we are still in the hurricane season, and right now across the Atlantic, it's pretty quiet. The upper level features around the Atlantic are not conducive at this time to us seeing any sort of development, at least for the next few days. The main reason is that we have some strong wind shear, those upper level westerly winds pushing in across Africa that basically will cut off most of those tropical waves as they leave the coastline. And there's also some very dry air around, so that is also another inhibiting factor. So not much is expected to come out of a couple of tropical waves that we are seeing right now across the Atlantic. We have those upper level winds there, and we do have that large blob of moisture settled just between those two tropical waves. But as you can see here, that moisture should actually stay well away from the island chain despite those two tropical waves coming through. So we should be seeing most of that activity staying out there in the middle of the Atlantic. But nearby Trinidad and Tobago, we're still seeing a lot of moisture pushing in across Trinidad and Tobago, especially overnight to the first part of your morning. The possibility of some showers could be on the heavy or thundery side around Tobago in particular. This activity will continue as you go through the middle of your day, eventually settling through nightfall on Tuesday night. For Trinidad tonight, also along the northern range, looking for cloudy conditions, and those showers could turn heavy or thundery first thing in the morning around Blanchishes and Toco. In those thundery downpours, there is the possibility of street or flash flooding. Be mindful about that. Also take care driving on the roads. There's a lot of sea spray around from other vehicles as you drive through those rain showers. Out towards Rio Claro and San Fernando through the afternoon, again, scattering of showers is possible here. Heading offshore, notice the low tide at 4:30 a.m., high tide at 11:30 a.m. We still have some of the northeasterly swells pushing in, affecting those northern coastlines of Tobago and along Trinidad. Those swells should eventually shift towards the east through late Tuesday and into midweek, looking at moderate choppy seas of 2 meters out there in the Atlantic. We're a touch higher along those other coastlines. It should be a rather comfortable night, 23 degrees Celsius in most areas, 32 will be at the high tomorrow, and we'll likely see conditions warming up quite nicely on Wednesday. A lot more sunshine to come, dry weather expected for both Trinidad and Tobago midweek. And then on a Thursday, we'll see those tropical waves passing through, adding the moisture, adding the likelihood of us seeing some showers, but also taking the edge off those temperatures, possibly higher of 30 degrees Celsius in some parts on Thursday. For the rest of the Eastern Caribbean on Tuesday, still a scattering of showers from Grenada southwards. Up towards the north for St. Vincent and Barbados, sunny spells expected here, as well as for St. Lucia and Dominica. Some cloudiness is expected towards the Leeward Islands, St. John's, Antigua, and into St. Kitts. Some of that cloudiness as well could drift into Santo Domingo, so a scattering of showers here expected on Tuesday. But for Kingston, they've had some thundery downpours over the last few days. They continue to see some of that activity on a Tuesday, but the rest of the Greater Antilles should be mostly fair, especially for Cuba. But for us, passing showers, some on the heavy or thundery side, but still feeling comfortable at times around 32 degrees Celsius. So that's weather, and that's it from me.